Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Welcome to day 1057. Joe Biden warned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that Israel is losing international support because of its indiscriminate bombing of Gaza, and that he has to change. Biden added, "This is the most conservative government in Israel's history." He also said Netanyahu's government doesn't want a two-state solution, adding, "You cannot say there's no Palestinian state at all in the future." Biden's comments come hours after Netanyahu refused to endorse a two-state solution for Palestinians and rejected Biden's proposal to put the Palestinian Authority in charge of Gaza once the fighting ends. Biden ended his criticism of Netanyahu by saying Israel must be careful because the whole world's public opinion can shift overnight. Meanwhile, the United Nations General Assembly voted to demand an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, with 153 members voting in favor, 10, including the United States and Israel, voting against, and 23 abstaining. The resolution is non-binding and carries less weight than those made in the Security Council, but Israel's representative to the United Nations called the resolution hypocritical and an absurdity that proved the utter irrelevance of the United Nations. He added that the resolution will not prevent Israel from defending itself. Moving on, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met with Joe Biden and U.S. lawmakers on Capitol Hill to make a personal appeal for more money and weapons from the United States to fight back invading Russian forces. The White House said it will run out of money to support Ukraine by the end of the month, and Biden has asked Congress for more than $60 billion in aid for Ukraine as part of an aid package, which also includes funding for Israel and U.S. border operations. Republicans, however, have insisted that any money for Ukraine be linked to strict U.S.-Mexico border security reforms. Biden warned Congress that they need to pass funding for Ukraine before they break for the holiday recess, before they give Putin the greatest Christmas gift they could possibly give him. Mitch McConnell, however, declared that it is practically impossible for Congress to pass a deal this year. At the same time, a newly declassified U.S. intelligence assessment indicates that Russia has lost nearly 90% of its pre-war army and that 2/3 of its battle tanks have been destroyed. In domestic news, the pace of inflation continued to slow from last year, with consumer prices rising 0.1% in November compared to October. Overall inflation increased by 3.1% compared to a year ago, down from 3.2% in October. While still higher than normal, it's a marked improvement since the Consumer Price Index peaked at 9.1% in June 2022. The national average for unleaded gas, meanwhile, is at the lowest that it's been in nearly a year, and 23 cents less than it was a month ago. Moving on, New York's highest court ordered the state to draw new congressional districts ahead of the 2024 elections. The decision gives the Democratic-controlled legislature the opportunity to draw more favorable district lines that could shift anywhere from 2 to 6 Republican-held seats toward the Democratic Party. In 2022, Republicans flipped 4 seats in New York, giving them a narrow majority in the House of Representatives. In 2024, Democrats will need to win a net of 5 seats to win back the House for next year. And finally, former Congressman George Santos is talking to federal prosecutors about a possible plea deal. Prosecutors have indicted Santos on 23 criminal counts, including wire fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, identity theft, falsifying records submitted to obstruct the FEC, and making materially false statements to the House of Representatives. His trial date has been set for September 9th, but prosecutors had asked to advance the case to May or June of next year. Santos was expelled from Congress on December 1st after a House Ethics Committee report accused him of a complex web of unlawful activity involving his campaign, personal, and business finances. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.